So we just had an amazing dev day by OpenAI, and it was definitely a buzz creator. Now, if you watched my previous video where I went through all of the announcements on dev day, one of the most unique things they put out there was the Agent Builder and the Chat Kit. And in that video, I have said that I believe all the claims out there that the Agent Builder is killing tools like Zapier and N8N is just purely clickbait. So since then, I try to spend more time actually on Agent Builder. I've built something, and today I'm going to show you what I've built, the challenges that I faced, the areas where I think OpenAI can improve. And again, this is just the first launch. Usually they start small and then it becomes something crazy if people pick up on it. But today I will show you end to end how to put an agent together on the Agent Builder, how to build a widget for your agent, and hopefully, and this is I'm going to do live with you today, we put all of that together to integrate these things into an active site. So I'm going to do that on a local development for my own website, for my YouTube channel. And before we carry on, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you do not want to subscribe, click that like button if you get value out of this video today. And with this, and without any further ado, let's get started.
Subscribe to Daddy's channel. The mic.
So let's start with the end in mind. So this is my website where potentially I might consider having a chatbot based on an agent I built with Agent Builder, and then the chatbot itself or the chat interface is something I want to build using the chat kit. Okay, so this is a quick look at my website. So it's a basic website covering everything about my YouTube channel with all links. So potentially I would want to add to this website a chatbot that will serve information about my content readily to my subscribers. So today I'm going to do it, as you can see here, on a local environment. Already I ran my website files on a local environment. Later on, once we build the agent, we look at how to build other parts of that agent based on what OpenAI provided. We will go to VS Code, work with Codex, and try to get Codex actually to put it all together. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is go to the Agent Builder. Now, this is a ready agent flow that I built already on the Agent Builder. I'm going to show you and walk you through it step by step. Now, it is fairly simple, but details matter. It is not the perfect builder. If you are used to doing things with N8N, this is way behind in terms of the ability to actually customize this in the number of nodes that you have. But looking at the concept of this builder made to build OpenAI agents, it's good. It's good and it is fit for purpose. So when you start any flow, you're going to have two nodes. The start node, this is a standard, and then a single agent node. Again, the agent I will create is an agent for people to interact through my website. So the first agent I created, I called it a YouTube classifier. So it does two things, and this is I created to make benefit of the widgets. Based on the interaction the users have with the agent, this agent will simply define one of two things. Is the user asking for specific video related information? Basically, is the user looking to get my last video or a specific video that I've done on a certain topic, or they're just looking for general information either about me, the links to my social media channels, and so forth. So this distinction is very important. Now, if you look here at the details of that agent, I called it a YouTube classifier. I gave it a simple prompt. Again, I'm highlighting my channel information and I'm telling it that it's very important that it does this classification, and I'm elaborating on the prompt to maximize the success rate in this classification, because you don't want someone asking for information and then getting a widget for a video and vice versa. So this is like an initial early version of this prompt. I might have to fine tune it. I tested it a couple of times and it's working, so that's fine. So this is just the system prompt or the instructions for the agent, and then include chat history is on. I selected GPT-5 Nano, more than needed for this whole flow, by the way. The reasoning effort is low. And then here for the output format, you have multiple options. You have text, you have widget, and you have JSON. So I selected JSON, and you get this once you actually set it. So you can either do it by code. I actually went and did it through the simple configuration. So I created a key called YouTube question. The type is enum, and it gets one of two options, either yes YT, basically YouTube, or no YouTube. So obviously yes YT is something that it assigns when the user is asking about specific video content. So they want to see a video I did in the past or my last video. So this way, I actually manage the output of this agent to these one of two outputs. So it will only respond with one of the two options, okay? And based on the input it's getting. So once we have that, then I go to an if-else type of node or statement. Behind all of this, obviously, there's code. And here, if you go to this statement, here you have to go to the documentation of OpenAI so you can understand the expression language OpenAI Agent Builder is working with. But here they mention it for us. Use common expression language, which is CEL for short, to create a custom expression. And there's a link to learn more, and it will take you to the documentation so you can read more there. You can, again, feed this to also ChatGPT, tell it that you have this output coming from the agent before it, and ask it to give you the expression based on CEL to help navigate the flow in case the if-else statement is true or false. Here, false is basically else, okay? So this branch here continues if yes, this is a specific video related query. No, it goes to this branch over here in the bottom, okay? So let's go to the first agent. If this is true, if someone is asking about a specific video, what will happen? We go to a second agent. Going to my YouTube agent now, you can see there is a prompt here. So let me open the prompt. And the prompt here is, you will use a connected function tool to look up required information about my channel and or a specific video or videos, and then answer users. User query, again, this is the text input that we got from the user in the first node. So we hit save here, and then I kept the include chat history activated. The model is GPT-5 Nano again. I'm keeping it low cost in case I really consider to put it out there. Reasoning effort here is low as well. The tools here, I added a function as a tool. Now remember, you cannot have native functions within the agent builder. I asked ChatGPT to create for me a function schema to get the videos of my channel based on a function that later on I will have Codex create based on this schema. So basically I'm doing it in reverse. I have a schema that I want a function for. So later on, when Codex integrates all of this for me into my website, when this agent tries to call this function, the function will be there that Codex will still have to build, which will fundamentally as a function try to make an API call to my YouTube channel, get all of the videos and try to select the right video based on the user query and show it to that user. And again, don't worry about this huge schema. This is something that was created to me by ChatGPT itself. You can actually generate the schema from here by simply prompting what kind of function you want. And you have examples as well. You can either do it here or go to ChatGPT and do it separately. Okay, so this is a function that yet does not exist, that later on will be key to get the information from my YouTube channel. And now the output format here, we tested JSON and we have text. Now we're working with a widget. So this is from the chat kit, as you see here. We're gonna go to the widgets and see how that is built. So this is for this agent. If this agent is activated, it will respond with a certain widget or a card, a nice looking card visually that probably will have a YouTube thumbnail with a play button, maybe with a number of views, something aesthetically really nice to look at, and it will give the user the information that they're looking for or the video that they want to watch. Now, if we go back to the if else, if the request was basically a general question, we go to a different agent. I call it my media agent. And again, here, this is also prompted. Same thing, general prompt. Here, I'm not adding any context. The only thing here, I'm adding the file search tool, and I simply uploaded a MD file with a lot of description around what I do in my content, things that are already available on my website. Now, if this works and I'm happy with it, I want to deploy it seriously, I might add content to this file and add it to this file search tool. So whenever we get to this branch over here, then the file search will activate. So the agent will look into the data it has in the file and it will answer based on that. Now, before the answer goes back to the user, I wanted to play with the guardrails node. So this is the safety. This is how you maintain certain behavior or protect from having certain behavior in your content when you deploy your agent. Something that was super interesting for me. Basically, I looked into the setting. Each of them has a very user-friendly settings where you can add personally identifiable information, blockade. So the guardrail will look for these things that you define in each of these setting buttons, and it will stop the flow if it's true that such an outcome is there. And the guardrails node is its own type of if-else, because once it looks at the output of the agent, it will either rank it as pass or fail. So if it passes, well, here in the end node, we set that actually share with the user whatever output of the media agent. If it fails, nothing happens. So the user will get nothing. I might have to add a different end node here that has actually a standard message for the user that the safety system, for example, stopped the response of the agent. Something like that, something nice, and for the user to understand why they're not getting a response. You can test it for yourself. It's all easy to understand, easy to configure, and it's really intuitive, honestly. You know what? Let me add the second end node. So this is the end node. Let's add a property, call it response. It's a string, and the value I put is safety systems blocked response. So let's add this. And now let us publish the workflow, because we need to do that before we go to the next steps of this work. So let's publish and get it live, and then we'll carry on with further steps on building my agent builder based chatbot on my website. Okay, so that's a mouthful. So let's hit publish. This is from draft to new version, and we'll hit publish. And with this, it is fully published now. Okay, before I proceed further, just note here that you can see the versions. So I have version 5 now, and you can actually play with evaluations. This is something that I will cover maybe in a different episode. I have this agent being evaluated. The amazing thing that they've done in the agent builder, so many complex things are simply prompted. So you can prompt your way into building your grading and evaluation of your agent. So later on in the dashboard, you can actually monitor its performance. Also, you can preview. So certain things will not work. As you know, the function I showed you or the function schema is not connected to an actual function. But let's ask it a generic question. So I'm just asking it, what is Samer's X account? And here it is something that should go to the bottom branch and not the top. So let's go with that and see what we get. So you can see the ones that are lighting up are the ones that are getting activated. So yes, it's activating the lower branch. Now it will go to the guardrails. So it got the link. The guardrails is okay. So yeah, we got the end, and we should have gotten the response. And the response is here. So this is my X account link or URL. So the system is working. So once we preview and we see it's working and satisfactory, now we can actually pick up the code here. So either you go to the Agent SDK if you want to use that, copy the whole code, or go to the chat kit and take the workflow ID, and you have also the current version. Now also you can go to the documentation to get help in how to actually integrate that to your website, or get a sample app from GitHub that OpenAI put out there. For us, and you'll see later on, we're going to work with the actual code, because I think this will be much easier for Codex to comprehend and work with. So now we have a working agent flow on the agent builder. We have the code for that, and we want to create that kind of chat widget where people can actually interact with the agent. We want also the widget that we selected as an output for one of our agents already in the agent builder that creates a card, a nice looking card for YouTube videos. And if you want my feedback on every step, do not worry. By the end, I will list all the areas where I think this can be better, where they did well, where they can do much better. Now I just want to take you through the journey of actually getting this built and ready to go. So let's start with the widget builder. So here it's an ChatGPT based widget builder. You can tell it exactly what you want. It will create it for you. There's a gallery for widgets. Also, you can pick up from here and you can go into so many components they have and get the code related to it. So, and also icons. So whatever suits you, you'll find here. Now let's go to the new widget, and here simply you give it a simple prompt and the outcome will be a widget code that also you can copy and use later on when you're developing this or integrating it into your product. So to test this, by the way, I created mine on my personal laptop, not this device, so you don't see it here. It should appear here and you can download it. So you get a file for it, and this is how you actually attach it to the agent. So let me do that in a second. I think this is important. So if you go back here and you select the agent, if I detach this one or edit it, actually the only thing I need to do is upload a file, and then you'll have the widget here, and you can see this is the sample widget that I uploaded before. So let's go and create a new one. If it looks better, I might actually replace this one with the newer one. So I gave it a simple prompt: give me a widget that displays nicely YouTube videos to users. Let's hit go, and now it will start working on it, and in no time you will have the widget ready to preview with the code, so you can download the whole thing and then upload it to the agent. So you don't need to take this code to your application. You just have to connect it to the agent, and I'm assuming this is how it integrates in the whole thing. So the integration work is actually for the agent flow, not for the widget. The widget will be loaded into the agent flow itself, so that's already there. But we have to get it from here and download it. You will get the code again, so you can edit it if this is something you want. So you can see here, it's giving me multiple options. So it can give multiple videos rather than a single one. Honestly, this is nice. I'm going to leave it for now. Actually, let's download it. So you can hit this black download button here and you will get it on your device. Now I have it here, you can see. So it's there if I want to replace it later on. For now, I'm satisfied with the one that I already have. So now we have the widget. We need to design actually the chat interface for the users. So let's go now to the playground. Again, if you remember the main page here, there's the playground. If we click at this, it will take us to this page. Now, I will not go into the details of this. This is super intuitive. You can design the chat exchange here or the chat interface here, and you can play with it. You can actually test it. So let's say hi, and you'll get a response. And you can design all the elements, how the text looks, the font, the size, the shades, the whole thing you can actually configure here, even if this takes attachments, uses tools. So for me, I stripped it out from everything. I wanted a very simple chat interface that engages with the subscribers or the community of my channel, giving them information or YouTube videos if they ask for that. Once you are satisfied with the look, this is super intuitive, by the way, no need for me to spend any time. Just you click at this button here and you'll get the whole code. Again, this is something that we will take later on to Codex to use this look or this UI exactly as it is in my website, and in the back end, it will connect it to the agent flow. Okay, now I have everything, and I created a prompt, a long prompt, because it has all of these code snippets. So basically the prompt is explaining to Codex that this is my website, so I'm gonna run it within the local folder of my website files, or the directory where I locally am running my website that I showed you, and I'm giving it an explanation that I have an agent flow created on the Agent Builder by OpenAI. I also went to the documentation, which are readily available on OpenAI, copied all the documentation, put it in a MD file in the directory so Codex can read that file, and I took the whole thing, and fundamentally I just told it, this is the code for the agent flow based on Agents SDK. This is the chat widget that you will have on my website, and this is the UI code for it. And fundamentally, the final ask in this long prompt is use all of that to integrate in my website to something that will work with my website theme, being mobile friendly, and the other elements of the structure of my website. But fundamentally, this is nearly a copy-paste type of job that Codex has to do. So now I am on VS Code. So Codex is already running. I actually got it to do some preparation because I pulled this from my GitHub to get it running on my local device. Now it's running, and now I have the same prompt that I have in my Google document that I just showed you, and I added a single line ahead of it. I'm just telling it, implement below and try to minimize any change to code snippets unless necessary. Review project in depth, plan steps, and only after execute. And with this, I'll hit enter, and we'll leave this to GPT-5 Codex High to see what it will do with my instruction and how this will integrate into my site. So this will take a while from my experience with GPT-5 Codex. Once it's done, I will return to show you the outcome regardless of how good or bad or not working it is, so you can get the full perspective on the performance of the agent builder and whatever we get out of it, and how Codex can help us build or integrate into our systems. Okay, so it's done. I just reran the server just to make sure everything should be operational now or refreshed, so I don't get any issues just because of refreshing or restarting the server. So let me go to the site. Let me hard refresh. Excellent. You can see I have a widget here appearing. Let me scroll down. It's floating, so it's remaining at the bottom. I might later on remove the text altogether. I think it's just unnecessarily making it big. The website is reacting perfectly. Everything's in place. Everything looks good. The links, everything. Okay, so the whole thing is good. So let's see the actual major part of this integration. Let's click at the window and see if we get the chat widget. It opened perfectly, the same design as we designed it. Let me start with something simple like hi. And you can see here, you see the chain of thought or like the traces of the flow. We can remove that by removing the toggle of chat history. And it responded, hey there, great to meet you. How can I help today? Want to chat? Okay. So a normal text kind of thing. This is the bottom flow. If you remember, this worked. Let me ask for information around this site, that like a link or URL, to see if also that part is working, the file search. So I'm asking it, give me Samer's Instagram URL. Again, it's going through the flow. So see here, it's part of the prompting. It's asking who is Samer. So now I'm trying, give me the mic, Instagram URL, give me the mic is the original handle of my channel. So let's see if it actually gets that. But it's working. The only thing here, I need to fix the prompt. So I'm happy with the result. My prompts were very high level, and I got now the Instagram. So I can just in the prompt mention when someone asks about Samer, Samer is actually the creator of the channel, yada yada. The last one, which is the most important for me, is getting the card. So I will ask about the latest YouTube video. This is the one actually that you see behind the pop-up here. So let's ask that. So the prompt is, what's Samer's latest video to watch? Hopefully it gets Samer here, and the function and the schema work. So that's a little bit tricky part here. So let's hope for the best and we get a card, and we didn't get a card. So it didn't work. So, okay, I will not spend time to fix this. This is actually just getting the schema and the function to work together. So basically the schema to call the function and the function to return the results, and for the agent to actually give us the widget. I need more time to get that to work. Again, this is the part where the code base has to be clean. It might take a little while. It might take a longer time. To be fair, I asked Codex to do a lot at one time. Big chunk happened already by Codex, really good results. For now, this experience already gave me lots of perspective on the agent builder and the new chat kit and the whole thing they're trying to put out there as OpenAI. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the whole journey of us putting together an agent flow on the agent builder, designing it, and actually testing it, deploying it, and then trying to integrate it. It's a whole process if you want to do that for your tool. Again, I'm doing this in around an hour while recording this video. If you give it more time, probably you're going to get better results. So I wasn't able to actually get the widget as a response to a request for a video, for example. But finally, my 2 cents on this. Number one, it's the first push for this part of the offerings for developers by OpenAI. So you'd expect that it is basic. Now, I would say it's basic in the sense that it doesn't have all the blows and whistles that we are used to, especially for people who are working with things like n8n and Zapier. There are small things that they can improve quickly. So for example, when I was working on the agent flow, at one point I got a pop-up if I want to allow a certain URL or a domain to work with this agent flow. So this is for deployment. And I got a certain key and I approved it and I forgot to copy that key. And I found no way for me to go back and recover that key, as if later on while I go to deploy this and the key is not there, probably it will not work. So this is like one of the small things I noticed with the agent flow. The other thing, it has a learning curve. The hope for such a system is really to democratize agent building. It would, in my eyes, be a success because developers already know how to build agents with code. They don't need this. This is, I believe, made for people who are not even vibe coders. So I think the goalpost for OpenAI, this is a start, but the goalpost should be something that is so easy to build that anyone fresh off the boat in building agents can in a quick time turn around this platform and start generating agents. Now, integrating is something else. Maybe it gets easier with time. And they have some really good elements in the website. The evaluation being prompted into building the grading and the evaluation for you is something really unique. So maybe other parts of the agent builder can happen in the same fashion. Basically, you tell it what you want, it will create that agent flow for you. I think that's for sure coming at some point. There is a learning curve on this, but it is for sure not steep. So if you spend a couple of hours trying to build something, the next one you're gonna build in 10 minutes. I nearly guarantee that. So it's really smart in the way they did it. It's really interesting to work with. But even for me, I'm not a professional developer. I'm a vibe coder. I do things in vibe coding. I will probably, if I want to go and add the same agent to my website, I would do it in one of two ways. Either build it on n8n and have the n8n embed, which doesn't look as nice as the one we have from OpenAI Agent Builder and the Playground, but it's much easier to integrate and it's also much more powerful as an agent, so you can link it to so many things. Or I vibe code the whole thing. Select one nice library for these chat interfaces and vibe code the whole thing, and I'll connect it with the Agents SDK to an OpenAI agent in the back end. At least for now, Codex struggled to integrate. I gave it a very detailed prompt and it's still, I'm using again GPT-5 Codex High. So not everyone even have access to that. So it struggled to do the integration for me. So hopefully in future versions of the model, that part of documentation, which also was there in the directory of my project, so it should have had all the docs it needed as an agent to build this and integrate this for me. Still didn't work 100%. It worked, I would say, for the most part, 70-75%. So that could be something to be solved in the future. But today, if it's up to me, if I want to really think about this seriously, I would, for the most part, go back and vibe code the whole thing without using the agent builder. I'm sure maybe there are other more creative people that will do crazy things with this. I will be watching out myself and learning myself and see what others are able to do with it. Now, this is for the agent builder. I'm in love with it, while I have all of these critiques for areas of improvement when it comes to dealing with it. Now, the Playground and the Widget Builder, I think they can do much better there. So for example, if you remember, we run one prompt to get the widget. If you don't like the widget, you actually cannot reprompt it. And I think this is a kind of a free API access to actually make use of AI to get the widget from the builder. They should connect it to our accounts. I'm a pro user. I would like to use maybe GPT-5 thinking, heavy thinking, to get a really high-end widget for myself. So maybe this is something they can change in the future. And maybe they can actually get the whole thing to work better. So I can prompt the widget, reprompt it, get the widget of my choice, and then and only then I can take that code and either use it directly in my environment or just, as we've seen, use it in the agent builder and upload the downloaded file of that widget into my agent on Agent Builder. Now, looking at all of that, I think OpenAI did put kind of a foundation in the dev day they did in 2025 that changes the way we interact with the internet, we interact with apps. So it's a big dev day that we've got. This is one piece of the puzzle. And I think the end result of the agent builder is having someone who knows barely anything about building agents to prompt in a human language their way into building that flow, and integration will become, I think, much easier as Codex itself is more capable. So with this, I hope you got a deep dive and a deep perspective into the newest thing for developers out of OpenAI Dev Day and the experience you should expect when building with it, integrating it into a website or a tool. And if you've seen value in the video I delivered to you today, please consider subscribing to my channel, and also do not forget to like and share the video if you really enjoyed it. And with this, thank you for watching and goodbye.
Subscribe to Daddy's channel. Give me the mic.